and Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Dr. Wahab Shittu, is in the studios with us this afternoon to shed some more light on how he perceives the problem to be dealt with. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you so much.
Welcome to Newstrack. You said in your statement that there is an existential threat against Nigeria.
Yes,
You're taking it very seriously.
Yes, I don't think any Nigerian, any patriotic Nigerian, should share what is going on. Because I've read comments in the social media of some people trying to provide some justification for the US contemplated action. I think this is the time for us as Nigerians to unite around the leadership to ensure that this does not happen. You have to draw lessons from what has happened in Libya, what has happened in Syria, Gaza, and some other areas like that. The level of destruction that can occur is unimaginable. So I do not want the Nigerian authorities to take this US president's threat lightly. We should take it very seriously, very, very seriously. And then we should also not employ combative approach. We know the strength of the US and in global affairs. We know the strength of their military. So I think what we should do is to embrace quiet, strategic, proactive diplomacy. Nigeria, and I've read the comment of the president. Very good. But it
What's your reaction to his?
It does not go far enough. I think the president should also provide detailed particulars to say that these so-called attacks on Christians. It's not Christians alone that are subject to attack, even by the Boko Haram insurgents. If you look at what's going on in the north, all categories of people are under attack. Muslims, Christians, and all categories of Nigeria.
So that statement from the president should have been more detailed.
More detailed. But it can also go beyond that.
Okay.
Because I'm asking for a diplomatic action. You have the US ambassador. He can be summoned and briefed to Nigeria. And then we should also enlist the cooperation of the ECOWAS, cooperation of the AU, cooperation of the Commonwealth, cooperation of the UN Security Council,
right,
cooperation of the UN Secretary General, and very, very credible opinion leaders around the world to forestall what is like. So a strategic, a deliberate, diplomatic action ought to be taken. Again, across bilateral levels, multilateral levels. And I'm also looking for a strategic cooperation approach that will say like a joint US-Nigerian mission to come and evaluate what is going on. Through statistics. You cannot afford a possible or a probable US military action against Nigeria. And so the emphasis now should be security, security, security. Beyond that, we should put our house in order.
Which begs the question, yes. Do you think that the US president's threat exposes Nigeria's security agencies to claims of failure of their constitutional duty to protect citizens?
No, I don't think anything Nigeria will say the military has been docile. No. For nearly 10, 15, 12 years now, the military has been deployed repeatedly to all these areas. But are these efforts enough? We can say they are not enough. We need to do more. A lot of soldiers at the level of the military have lost their lives, trying to combat this insurgency. There's also an element of compromise by some of the, in these operations. So I think right now is for us to be much more, cohesive.
Genocide is a strong word. It's a systematic elimination of a group or a people by another for a specific cause.
We all know that is not
Dr.
true.
Shittu, do you believe that the way it's used in this case is accurate?
No.
Is there genocide?
It's certainly not accurate.
In Nigeria?
No, there's no genocide in Nigeria. Yes, elements in Nigeria across ethnicities, across religions are exposed to attack, particularly in the northeast. But not like targeting Christians like that for attacks.
But the frequency of the attacks and the frequency of the number of victims who happen to be Christians.
No! The kind of casualties being suffered
including the Muslims.
Yes, including Muslims. Yes. It's not Christians alone. We don't. And then we look at, or to say, in Nigeria, it's too general an approach. If you look at the southwest, southeast, and some other places, there's no such complaints. And then even in the north, both Christians and Muslims are subject to attack. And the government is making efforts to combat. But these efforts are not enough. But the most important thing is for government today to embrace the deliberate domestic communication and unity. Nigerians will unite. This is not the time to play politics with what is going on. Okay. Unite around the president, unite around the ruling elite across, religion, across ethnicities, across, levels of government, to see that this is a existential, threat against Nigeria. And then we should engage in we should be speaking the language of peace, the language of communication, the language of proactive, diplomacy.
There'll be more after the break. We want to take a quick break, then we'll come back and continue our conversation.
Thank you very much.
When we come back, Dr. Wahab Shittu continues his thoughts on the allegations of genocide in Nigeria and the action of the U.S. president that he has threatened to take